no matter what, you got to do what you got to do. If you don't follow through and you don't do what needs to be done, no one's going to do it for you.
One of the things I never used to do is go to networking events, which is where we met.
If you don't tell them who you are, they're not going to know who you are.
Yeah. Again, being out in front of people is a massive piece of growing in business.
And never give up. And if you work hard, things will come.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Real Stories. I'm your host, Jordan Silvester, and today we've got an awesome guest, Danielle Wellings, who's the owner and franchisor of ONESource Moving Solutions. How's it going, Danielle?
Good. How are you? Thanks so much for having me, Jordan.
Thanks for being here. So as per usual, we just kind of get right into where are you from, who are you, and, 3 to 5 minutes, let's go.
All right. So I am Danielle Wellings. I am the owner and franchisor of ONESource Moving Solutions for seniors, professionals, and families. I grew up in a little town called Puce. Most people don't know where that is. But anyway, it's a very small little space. And actually, when I was a little kid, there wasn't many people around. There was more cottages and things like that. So we have lots of American friends still and things like that. But I grew up, my grandfather used to own the High Hill restaurants back in the day.
Okay.
And I grew up as a very young child, toting along behind him and going to the family business and things like that. Around 9 years old, I started washing dishes at the business. And, there's non-negotiables. When Grandpa honked that horn, you better go out running and get in the car and go to work. And then, as the years progressed, grew up in the flooring industry. My dad owns Floor Coverings International and joined the family company. And then, then passion found me, and I always wanted to help people, and that's how ONESource Moving Solutions began. We started with seniors and grew into seniors, professionals, and families when I rebranded the company in 2019.
Okay.
And now made it a franchise-based model, and now we have 10 locations in Canada.
Amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, you're now Canada. You can say now.
I can say Canada now.
That's awesome. That's such a cool thing. So you said, okay, so 9 years old, you're starting in Grandpa's High Hose, helping out there. And then from the school perspective, like when you were going through, that would be, what grade were you in there? Approximately. I don't remember.
Maybe grade 5.
Okay.
I think, right?
That's an early time to start working. So it created a work ethic at a very young age. Like you said, he honked the horn and that was time to get out the door and go with Grandpa to work. What time did you usually start?
I don't even remember. It was like 9 or 10 or, but even, before that, we had, we grew up with lots of neighbors and, my grandpa would volunteer you to help out the neighbors. So even cutting the grass and things like that. I remember a lady that lived a few doors down from us, an elderly lady, and you'd have to go cut the grass. So even at an young age, at like 8 years old, we were driving a tractor and cutting the grass, and she would pay us with candy.
Oh, well, there you go.
And then all the, childhood and neighborhood friends, our friends, after I was done cutting the grass, they would all want to know, what bag of candy I got. And then I had to share with everybody else. Like, it wasn't like you just got to take the candy for yourself. Then it was, you shared with everyone else too. So, even very young, just the silliest things, from cutting grass to going to wash dishes, and I'd say to my grandpa, when are we going home? And he's like, when I tell you the day's done, you know what I mean? And I was like, okay, so being very young and just learning that, work ethic of it doesn't matter, you stand behind your family and you just do what has to be done in order to make sure that we all eat at the end of the day, kind of thing. So
yeah, that's awesome. So again, you were saying about the generosity part. So you got your labors and candy, but then you had to share.
Then I had to share with everybody.
and so as a young person, that created a generosity. Now, was it easy to share? Like sort of like you were like, am I done work? Like when you knew you were getting your candy. Now, did everyone else share with you as well? Like was it kind of that reciprocity or?
I guess when I couldn't cut the grass, eventually as my sister got a little bit older, then she cut the grass.
Okay.
And I think eventually, don't even remember who cut the grass after that. But anyway, I don't even know if my brother did that either.
Right.
But, we also had our own properties to cut. My grandfather lived next door. So as a young, my whole life, my grandfather lived next door to my mom and dad,
Okay.
to my family or
Yep.
my childhood home. And then, my cousins lived a couple doors over. So there was always lots of family and kids and everybody roaming all over, but we all still had our own properties to take care of, along with a few of the neighbors
There you
as
go.
well. But yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't even really think about it because sometimes too, if our American friends would come over for the weekend, sometimes our parents would give us a quarter or something and we would go up to the store. And back then, you could get 25 candies for a quarter.
Yep.
I don't know so much
Penny
now.
candies.
Penny candy, we used to walk up to, the variety store at the corner in Puce. And that was like a staple. Like we got to walk by ourselves, which was a big woo,
We're free.
you
We're
get
allowed
to
to go
you
on an
get to
adventure.
walk up to the store by yourself, and things like that. So it was just a different, county life and very easygoing. And we played lots of flashlight tag and
There you go.
sat and watched the storms and whose ever porch was closest to the water and things like that. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So then, okay, so at 9, you're working at Hi-Ho, cutting grass, doing all that. And then you, again, move into your teen years. So did you kind of do that all the way through like high school or?
All the way through high school. I worked, at my grandfather ended up closing some of the restaurants in the city. And then we had one restaurant out in Emeryville.
Okay.
And I worked there throughout all my teen years, and all my friends worked there as well. So, whenever we needed to hire someone new and things like that, I think all of my friends actually worked there. So we had a great time. My sister too. Some of her friends worked there. Some of my cousins worked there. And then other people that we met along the way and things like that. So it was always a lot of fun going to work, and because all my friends were there,
Right.
and things like that. So I did miss a few vacations with them and things like that, but because we couldn't all leave.
Oh, right. At the same time.
At the same time to go, leave the family. Well, it wasn't their family, it was my family.
Right.
But so there was a few things that, unfortunately I missed sometimes because we couldn't all leave at the same time
Right.
and
So-
things like that. But it's all a part of life. And,
So when you were coming out of like high school, early years there, what was the plan? Like, what were you looking at as your future?
so my future originally was I always wanted to be a nurse or a police officer.
Okay.
So I did take a year of nursing back when I was 19.
Okay.
And after I finished my first year of nursing, my grandfather actually had a heart attack while on vacation with his sister. And I decided to leave school until he recovered. And unfortunately, I never went back to school.
Gotcha.
Then I dabbled a little bit in, I applied to be a police officer
Okay.
and started that process as well. And anyway, then I was pregnant.
And family.
And family and things like that. So I was always still looking for that need to help people.
Right.
And yeah, so.
So you grew up serving in the restaurant business, then you worked at your dad's flooring company.
Yeah, so I
Along the
worked
way?
at my dad's flooring company a little bit in high school as well.
Okay.
And then went to the flooring business after I had Sarah and Jake,
Okay.
and then went into the flooring business to help my parents with that until about 2014, 2015, after ONESource had started. I started ONESource, but was still dabbling a little bit in the family business.
Right.
And then transitioned out as we were growing and
Cool.
Was doing what I was so passionate about.
So you said you rebranded in 2019. So it starts in 2015. ONESource kind of gets its
Yeah, ONESource started in
Beginning?
2014 was the
Okay.
beginning. And we were just, OneSource Moving Solutions was for seniors only, is originally how we started.
Okay.
I saw a need that there was a gap, and services for seniors, there was nothing like it here
Right.
at all. And in maybe a year in, I would get a call saying, "Oh, I'm not a senior, but can you help me?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I can help you. Yeah, no problem."
Right.
And those kind of things. And then it started getting more and more. And then we were started helping restoration company with fires and floods and pack outs, pack backs, and things like that. So
Right.
then I was like, wow, there's actually a need for all age brackets.
Right.
So we rebranded in 2019 for seniors, professionals, and families. And then I saw a need. Also, we're the only brand like it in North America right now, and there's a need, and it is a scalable thing. So we
Right.
created a franchise-based model, and we are already trademarked, ready to go to the U.S. as well. We need to grow a little bit more in Canada first,
Right.
before we do that big jump into the USA. But hopefully someday we will be worldwide is my goal.
Awesome. So aiming to continue to grow. And as you said, you were more Southwestern Ontario local, and now you're all the way out to the other side of the country in Alberta.
Yep.
And again, expansion's still underway. So how much, if you were going to ballpark, how much time do you think it is between where you finish up in Canada, where you can, not that you won't be continuing to grow here, but we would be able to jump the border?
So hopefully by the end of 2026,
Okay.
we have in between 20 and 30 locations by then,
Nice.
or early 2027. So our goal is to enter into the U.S. late 2026, early 2027.
Okay.
That's our potential launch date there.
Wow. So when you go back and you're looking at your life, what were some of the profound lessons? So like how you have an amazing work ethic from what I can tell, and just listening to some of those who work with you and the engine you run with, which is an amazing thing. Where does that come from?
So I think I learned at a really young age, like no matter what, you got to do what you got to do. If you don't follow through and you don't do what needs to be done, no one's going to do it for you.
Right.
No matter what, everything falls back. I have an amazing team actually at my corporate office, and I'm so thankful that my daughter has decided to join me.
Yeah.
Sarah, is my director of franchise development. She's literally, the backbone of a lot of things that are happening, and it's amazing. The trust factor, she has it's family, right?
Yep.
She has it's kind of like you have skin in the game kind of thing, where even from our office, our Windsor office, I've had an amazing team. Some of our team has been with me for 11 years. So has grown with me, with the business and things like that. And they're so excited at the expansion and things like that. And some of our team will have the opportunity to travel with us as well as we visit our new locations and things like that. So I think that all around, we are looking always for new team members to add to our team.
Right.
But I do have an amazing team right now.
That's awesome.
To help us grow.
And so when you look at it's that I have to get it done, and if it falls to me, I do it, whether I'm CEO or whether I'm the person sweeping up, after the move.
Yeah.
When you look at all the aspects of your business, what's actually your favorite part?
My favorite part is all the people.
Okay.
Like I love the people. I love giving back to the community. We're very heavily involved in so many different aspects of the community, and involving our team and everything too, right? Like seeing our clients, seeing the lives we transform, how we help people, and things like that is my favorite part about it.
That's awesome. So when you're looking at your daughter who's jumped into the business, and you have those that have been with you for the 11 years, what about like driving the business forward for them? Is there any undercurrent that you're like, I'm not just doing this for Danielle, but I'm also doing this it's like, as I continue to progress forward, I can create massive opportunity in my world. How do you see that playing out for some of your staff and people who've kind of ridden the boat from the beginning, and when you're paddling the canoe and now you're kind of into the ship and can continue to grow? How do you see that?
So we continually tell our team too, there's tons of opportunity here. There's tons of room for expansion. We're going to be creating all kinds of different jobs. You know, this will be our corporate headquarters, no matter how we look at it. I'm not leaving Windsor. My whole family is here.
Right.
You know, like I love it here. I never want to leave here.
Right.
So this will always be our corporate headquarters. And we do continually tell our team that there is room for expansion. Who would like an opportunity when there is the time, and things like that. You know, our day-to-day operations have to still run,
Right.
and things like that, but there is opportunity for our team to grow and expand, as we expand, for maybe whatever their aspirations are, or their goals in life are, to do things with ONESource and help us grow.
Awesome. Looking back again, so your grandfather played a pretty massive role, your dad and your mom's business in the background, but who else in your world that, if you're looking back in time and you're saying these people or this person specifically kind of helped me to progress to be who I am today, who are those people?
I'd still have to look back at, you know, my dad and my grandfather. My uncle's very successful as well. You know, just looking at all the, you know, when we get together for family things and stuff like that, there's a lot of business talk. There's a lot of other talk too, and card playing and laughing and, you know, family. Well, we have lots of family shenanigans. We do lots of family things together, and so yeah, it's just a matter of looking at everybody who's surrounded me my whole life and aspired me to, you know, reach for my goals.
Right.
And never give up. And if you work hard, things will come.
In time.
In time. True.
So you went to be a nurse, and then you ended up becoming pregnant. No, your grandfather.
No, I ended up going through to be a nurse. My grandfather had a heart attack.
Right.
So then what happened was I had to jump into the family business because I was kind of the only one
Okay.
that was there, you know, who could leave, who had the opportunity to leave school and kind of
Manage.
yeah, I guess I was just like, you know, holy, I better make this work. So, yeah, I was left with 32 employees and a
Wow.
360 seat restaurant. And, but I mean, I grew up in it,
Right.
like from a young child. Like it wasn't like I didn't know the business. It was just now making sure that the business wasn't going to lose money while my grandpa recovered from his,
Right.
you know, from being sick.
Right. And so he
So.
recovers, and then you end up getting married, I assume.
He ended up recovering, and then I stayed in the business
Okay.
till I was about 26 or 27.
Okay.
And then he wanted to, I think, somewhat retire.
Yep.
And wanted to sell the business and things like that. So that's kind of how it went.
You got
so
out.
I stayed, you know, I got out after I got married. And then I started to have kids,
Right.
you know, a couple years later.
Yep.
And things like that. So it all kind of worked out.
Yeah. And then you were going to become a police officer.
Then I was, yeah. So in the meanwhile, when I was still at the restaurant,
Yep.
I applied to become an OPP officer and things like that, got accepted, and then
Just
found out that I was pregnant. And then I was like, oh, this is not gonna work either. So,
gotcha.
you know, things like that. But that was my two main things my whole life was I wanted to either be a police officer or be a nurse.
Right.
But that's okay. I'm still caring for people in a different way now. And that was always my
Long-term goal. And like you
long-term
mentioned,
goal.
you work with the elderly still kind of as a primary focus, helping them move
Yeah.
from their current homes into retirement. or assisted living, depending on the circumstances, and supporting the families along the way.
Yeah.
How, when you look at your business from the model of families and the different ways you support, what is the most difficult part? Like looking at the process and getting through, what is the hard part?
The hard part would be that, sometimes families need to understand that, their loved one, when we're transitioning them from home to a retirement community or home to wherever their new home is,
Right.
Apartment, condo, new house, in with a sibling or in with a child.
Yep.
No matter what, it's still their home. So, just making sure that we take their favorite things, and what you might think would look good might not necessarily be what they love.
So your
So,
the parents' style may not match the child's style, and
Yeah.
there's a bit of a discrepancy between what they value and what
Sometimes.
the adults
Yeah.
would value. So just
Yeah.
finding, again, anything, it's finding the communication between parties that bridges those gaps. I can see
Yeah.
how that can be a little exciting
Yeah.
at times.
And we're always trying to work together to just make sure we achieve the goal of making sure the loved one loves their new home and is excited to live in their new space. We actually just on Saturday moved. We worked with many siblings in this family, and she wanted her baby grand piano. So
Okay.
her baby grand piano is at the retirement community
Oh.
in her suite. And it's just making sure something that means so much to one person gets to where it needs to be for them to live a successful life, or for them to have their life fulfilled as well.
Right.
So her baby grand piano looks right over Riverside Drive.
Wow.
And we positioned it so she can play and watch the boats go by. So it's it's amazing when they get to live their goals as well.
Right.
And that's what we help people do. We help people live their best life.
Wow. If you were looking at somebody starting out in business, seeing as you've built one, when they run into the hard times, the early years, right? The early grinds, again, having your grandfather's business and your father's business probably helps a little bit with the education part to persevere through. What do you think somebody who doesn't have that knowledge would best, learn from them and yourself? Like, what's the trick to surviving?
I think the trick to surviving is you never have to give up.
Okay.
You always have to give, and there's no such thing as 100% anymore. You have to give 200%. If you're not giving 200% every day, and it doesn't matter if your phone's not ringing, make it ring.
Make it ring. Yeah, I like that.
How do you make it ring? You have to keep trying. You have to keep going out there. You have to keep meeting people, letting people know who you are, letting people know what your services are, or what you have to offer, or what whatever your business is, from clothing to services to home services, things like that. No matter what you're doing, real estate, all those type of things. How do people know who you are? Or how are they even going to know about you if you're not telling every single person who walks
Right.
on this earth? If
Yeah.
you don't tell them who you are, they're not going to know who you are.
Yeah, one of the things I never used to do is go to networking events, which is where we met.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I didn't go out. It's just I didn't ever go to those places because I didn't really know anyone at them. But I'd go to my normal bar or golf courses or wherever to see people, but I didn't think about it from the networking side. It just wasn't something. And then from there, it's been amazing to see the growth in my own world. So again, being out in front of people is a massive piece of growing in business. If you're trying, like you said, if people don't know what you do, how are they supposed to know how to find you, right? If they don't know who you are. But it's interesting, as you say, it's like, perseverance, find a way to make that phone ring, chase after, it's going to be hard. It's not always going to be easy.
No.
And again, I'm sure as you transition in business, it doesn't make it any easier. As you're franchising, I'm sure it took a minute to try to get that up and off the ground in a meaningful way. And then once it kind of starts to work, it works. But getting it to work is always the trick.
Yeah. And I mean, on the franchising side of things, now we're showing people how they can have a different life if they if they want to be a franchise partner,
Right.
and helping our new franchise partners as well be successful in life, and so they can live their best life.
Right.
If they're a successful business and they're successful, then then they live a good life as well.
Yeah, so you're creating not only opportunity in the moving business to help whoever the family you're working with get to their needs and growth. Now you're actually switching into helping businesses create opportunity in their own world for their growth.
Right.
And when you sit back and look at, okay, so it's been just over 10 years now, and you look at your business in reverse, when did you realize what it could be? Did it start out when you were like, this is what I want from the beginning? Because now you're saying like worldwide moving company. Was that the original plan?
I would say a few years into the business, I was like, hey, this could be scalable. I want to teach others to do what I love to do. And that's when I joined the Canadian Franchise Association, and I became a member, and then I just talked and went to conference and met other people and things like that. And I mean, franchising is a whole nother ball game in itself, from special documents you need and funding. You need the funding to create that. And then this sustainability as you scale and grow is quite an undertaking, and it's a little bit different.
Right.
But again, I just immersed myself around people that had so much knowledge and tried to get as much free knowledge and information as possible. And even when people call me and ask me about franchising, it's the first thing I tell them. Like, I can chat with you about things, but you got to make sure that it's right for you, and your business is scalable, and it is the right fit. So again, sometimes in business you have to seek out others and get as much information as you can to try to leverage yourself somewhere.
Right. If you're looking to leave one piece of advice, like if you're looking at your young self and going, okay, so for all of the hard work, labor, everything I've learned from my family members, if there's a piece of advice outside of that, so work ethic, I understand that 200%, not 100. But when you're thinking back, it's like, what mentality or mindset would you want to leave with your daughter, with your kids, in that sense, to say, okay, this is how you actually achieve true freedom?
I really and truly believe that you should treat others how you want to be treated.
Okay.
So look at your team, and I look at our team, and I think to myself that I gave these people an opportunity, and if I don't make sure that they have an opportunity to feed their families every day, then
right.
I failed, right? So, in a nutshell, you need to really think as a business owner that you've given people on your team an opportunity, but if you don't make sure that they work every day, or that there's work for them every day, or there's a place for them to succeed and grow with their own personal goals, I mean, I really think that, you sometimes need to think, and that probably came from being in family business, because in family business, at the end of the day, you still drink at the end of the day. No matter what, nobody's going to get along all the time. Not every day is going to go perfect.
Right.
You need to always just, do the right thing, and believe in each other and stick together as a team. Because my whole team we're a team.
Right.
It's not just me, and it's not, just one particular person on my team. It's everyone on a team makes the company run smoothly.
Right. That's awesome. If there was a book or a person, so, somebody outside of your sphere that you'd recommend people either watch or listen to or read, is there anyone that pops into your mind?
Not really. Let me see. I have 3 books on the go right now.
There you go.
So not really. I'm more just
Everyone at all
try to
times.
just educate myself as much as I can, with whatever I can, meet as many people as I can in the world. It doesn't, no matter what, I try to be everywhere as much as I can, And just try to always have an open mind, because you never know who you're going to meet, and you
Yep.
never going to know who's going to cross your path, and you never know in life on who might change your life as well.
Right. If people are looking for you, where can they find you?
So you can find us at onesourcemoving.ca is our website. Our office phone number is 519-984-2111. Yeah, if you ever
Need
anything,
or support, or you
yeah.
want to get into the moving business and you're
Yeah.
interested in possibly chatting about purchasing a franchise,
Yeah.
that'd be an awesome thing. Again, Danielle, thank you so much for coming today. It's been awesome. Thank you guys for watching Real Stories. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next time.